Philadelphia Eagles game of the week this week is the Eagles at the Vikings.
Oh, man. I can't wait for this game because, if the Eagles lose 3 in a row, it's like the world is going to shift a little bit because Eagles fans, they're going to not know what to do. Who are they going to blame? What's going on? And I love it. I love it when that anonymous player gives a quote during the week of a game after 2 losses. Can you imagine? Could you imagine, Chris? Anonymous. Why?
It's a 1-point line game, dude. Absolutely, I can imagine.
But why would a player choose this week to put an anonymous quote out with the?
Because this is the time that shit gets hard and you find out what your team's made of from a standpoint of, are you going to stick together? Are you going to what are you looking at? What is it?
Cooper DeJean and A.J. Brown are disgruntled at practice. I mean, if you see this
was that the
video,
quote?
Yes, disgruntled.
Yeah,
they're at each other's necks. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a bad look for the Philadelphia Eagles.
I think the truth always, there's always some factions of a team that aren't clicking, aren't getting along, especially when things aren't good. And that's happening anywhere in the NFL. The Eagles have maximum media exposure, maximum TV exposure. They're the defending Super Bowl champions, and we go through this every year, right? Almost every year. Last year we didn't go through it. Although we did go through it at the end of last year. We did go through it. The difference between last year's team and this year's team, as I've talked about at length, is last year's team's a lot better. So, what matters is the execution on the field. Because if you win games and people are getting fed,
cures everything.
Mm-hmm. If you win games and people aren't getting fed, people are off in the corners kind of pissed off, but they can't say anything. And then when you start losing, the floodgates open, the anonymous sourcing comes out, the whole thing. And I'm not a fan of anonymous sourcing. Never have been.
Me either.
Never have been.
It is a tough get-right game, if you want to call it that, for the Eagles offense against Flores' defense.
We said it last week. It's looking ahead to the schedule, who they got? Oh, fuck. And they got to go to Minnesota where it's going to be loud. And you talk about a team that is kind of at a crossroads. I wouldn't say they're at a crossroads, but for everything they've been through, to get this win would be huge for the Vikings. You talk about the defense. They are getting Cashman back, which is big. I think they've looked totally different without Blake Cashman. And I think Van Ginkel's up, right?
He's practicing. He's limited. The news clippings seem a little bit more
iffy.
He might be a week away.
So either way, if I had to pick one, this might make me sound a little crazy to get back on a week like this. I'd probably rather get Cashman back. I think they really have to get that. They have to get the run game, the fire in the run game put out. The one thing that has not been impressive about their defense, and this is what I think Saquon Barkley and the Eagles are looking at, is we can rack up some yards on the ground playing this team. I think I think there's been a little bit of a movement, on doubles with Hargrave and these guys inside. You can definitely see that there is a drop off at backer without him in there. Cashman, the guy we're talking about, and I think the run game is going to be paramount on the road. It always is, but the run game is going to be big because I don't love the Eagles' passing game in its current form. Seeing this defense. We've talked about at times hey, playing man defense against this offense, even in a rut, it's they can just get going. It's oh, fuck, we got a man beater. If we can block the front up, somebody's going to get open. Mm-hmm. But when you play zone, it seems to be a little bit more guesswork going on. And I think Hurts is going to struggle if he sees a lot of cover 2 variants. That's something that in the past, and if you look at this is so far this season, 25 of 33, 186 yards, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions, 75% completion rating, but in 98 rating, that all sounds really good, but the A-dot's 5.4 yards. That's like me to Tanner, and then the time to throw is 3.15 seconds. That's a long time.
It's a long time.
So what I think will happen, there's a lot of change into the picture that goes on with the Brian Flores defense. A lot of these cover 2 variant looks you're going to have to protect really, really well. And I would imagine that blitz with zone behind it is going to be on the menu. And so, like another thing is like you've got Isaiah Rodgers out there who's playing fantastic right now. To add insult to injury, you might be down Quinyon Mitchell. What's the update on him?
He is practicing. He's limited,
okay. Well, then he's playing. Hey, buddy, you practicing? You're playing. I'm sorry. This is a big fucking game. And if he can't go, he can't go. I'm not. But it kind of to me, like when I hear a guy's practicing, I'm like, well, we got a good shot at getting him. So
is there something different the Eagles secondary can do than if Quinyon is down, then throw out Adoree Jackson and Kelly Ringo? Like could you have Cooper play one of the outside positions, or
you play a ton of fucking zone. You play combo coverage. You play two, which they'll do. Cover 6, 2 on one side, 4 on the other, and you try to sync it up so that Justin Jefferson has a guy over top of him all day long. You could bracket him, like whatever you want, but like you got to make sure if you're in zone, there's multiple guys keyed up on it. The problem is you also got Jordan Addison, and you got to figure one of the problems is like the longer a Vikings offense has to operate in the pass game, which has been a thing. Like the Eagles have not rushed the passer at a high level this year, and Jaylen Carter's coming back. There's a lot of onus on him to take the game over.
I was just about to ask you.
There's a ton of onus on him to take the game over.
Get the button ready. Jaylen Carter.
Well, this is one of my least favorite.
Jaylen Carter. Ooh, shit. Jaylen Carter.
I don't even like that sounder, but but honestly, it's like, and there's been a lot of talk around the Eagles this week about, hey, Jalen's got to play better, and he does. He does have to play better. Like I watched every snap of his pass rush this morning, every snap on the year, and I think at times he's getting bored with the slide. Like he's the only guy, right? Like he's not the only guy, but he's the guy, right? So teams are just keying him, and they're sliding to him, they're doubling him. When he gets the one-on-ones, he's still pretty fucking like nothing's changed. Yeah. His conditioning was a little bit of a problem, and I know he played like every snap last year. And people said, well, he's in great shape. He played every snap last year, but like what I saw early in the year was like not in great football shape. Getting a lot of slide, getting a little discouraged. He's getting a lot of slide. One thing though I will point out is the two plays down in the red zone that have saved the Eagles bacon. Like we're talking about the Travis Kelce drop touchdown, which that ball was rushed. Jaylen Carter getting a win, speeding Patrick Mahomes up. The second one was Baker Mayfield's interception. Jalen doesn't get a great rush, but he cuts Baker Mayfield off at the pass and causes that play to go longer where he gets greedy and makes that throw. I mean, he's keeping him in the pocket because at that point, like if he's not there, Baker probably just picks up 5 on a scramble and they go on their merry way. But instead, he's hurried. He makes a throw like that. He's showing up when it counts in some spots because another thing is like you'll see a guy come free for a sack and guys are winning off of him. Guys are winning off of him as the penetrator. Here's another thing, like because of the Eagles' lack of pass rush now, they've had to pull backers into the pass rush a bunch, right? So you're getting like Zach Bond, Campbell coming from the second level. You get these oaky looks or these odd looks or whatever, and then you're going to get one rusher from the second level. So that creates another thing like this week is like, okay, I said Jaylen Carter has to play better, but another thing is like if the Eagles are going to keep bringing those backers, like those Vikings running backs, like Ham and those guys have to be really good protectors. Like this week, they have to be really good protectors. So like we talk about what can they do. I think you play zone behind a hopefully better pass rush than it has been. You get home so that these long developing overs that are, entering other zones like late in the down and guys are turned around and KOC is going to scheme you up like a motherfucker. Fangio's a great DC, but if the play goes 4 seconds and you got Addison and Naylor and not even mentioning Justin Jefferson out there, like the longer the play goes, the zones expand.
Yep.
And these deep overs and things like late in the down can really fuck with the safety who's supposed to be receiving the over. I'm probably butchering the DB vernacular there. I played in front of this stuff my whole career. But when I watch them, if you don't get the pass rush, the stuff comes open late in downs. So you got to be able to rush the passer. And another thing is, if you do decide to go single high, meaning, hey, you're going to get man coverage, you're going to get cover 3 or something like that, Carson Wentz is just looking at Justin Jefferson. So you could tempt him into force feeding Justin Jefferson, because when you watch him play this year and he gets a look like he's going to get man coverage and Justin Jefferson's way out there, he goes right there. Another thing is, he stares down the ball. He stares down receivers. So, the Eagles have to almost like bank on getting a big turnover in this game, in my opinion. They have to handle the screen game. They have to handle the run game. I got it. But Carson Wentz, we haven't even gotten real first take on this thing. It's his fucking revenge game, like clear as day. You haven't heard anything about it out of Minnesota. They're not trying to make it about this, because there is a quarterback thing where they're like, is McCarthy up? Is Wentz up? Wentz is going to play. If he doesn't, this is some fantastic gamesmanship by KOC. But if you think about like a team having a bye and having all this time to prepare for a game, they're not going to then be like, 4 days before, like, oh, McCarthy feels pretty good now, let's throw him in. I know Carson's had like 5 practices. They are singularly focused over that bye week on their opponent. And so I think like Wentz is getting the reps and he's going to play, but he does have that shoulder. It's the non-throwing shoulder. So Brosmer, who they really liked, is waiting in the wings, and I don't know if McCarthy's going to be active or what. Like,
he said himself earlier this week that his ankle's not 100%, so it's hard to see them throwing him out there if he's not even feeling that strong about it.
I don't think so either. And the other thing the Eagles have to worry about is bunches, stacks, motion late in the down. We talked about it with Fred Warner out, new guys in, Bucks like trying to force them to communicate, Atlanta forcing them to communicate this Sunday. Well, you're not missing the quarterback of your defense, but you got a bunch of guys back there, if Quinyon Mitchell's out or if he's not out, where you're going to have to communicate. And one thing that Minnesota does a really good job of is motion, especially late in the down. And they will have these little bunches and stacks, and it'll be interesting to see how they vary Justin Jefferson's alignment, because you can line him up wherever. So long story short, I think this is a really interesting test for both teams. Like, if the Vikings want to say, hey, we got the car detailed, JJ, have a seat, tell me if it feels different, like we're a totally different team, and you're healthy and we're going places, like this would be a big win. For the Eagles, it's kind of survival, bro. And I don't mean to make a 4-2 team sound like they it's a win or go home type thing, or it's like but everybody's saying it, like how weird the vibe is right now. Like, you've got a bunch of, you mentioned anonymous source, and you mentioned, AJ not getting the ball enough, Saquon not getting going, Jalen Hurts being questioned, like the defense, guys getting cooked in the secondary, like, and there's no. Like, who are you going to go get? Who's Howie going to go get? Edge rushers or corners? Like, the only way out is to play better. You can't bank on Howie coming to save the day this year. And really, when you look at his trade deadline moves that he's made, like, Howie's fantastic at his job, but how many trades at the deadline has he made that have kind of elevated the team in a way that they were a lot better off? Seriously, Jay Ajayi, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. Jay Ajayi, like freaking they went out and got Golden Tate in 2018. We went out and got Golden Tate. That helped, but like I don't know if it elevated us to like the next level. All I'm saying is, for people that are saying, hey, Howie will fix it, I don't know what the fix is. The fix is playing better. The fix is going out and running the football and speeding up the processing at quarterback and settling into a groove where you're running some offense that actually looks like some semblance of you've got a game plan. You know what I'm saying? So
Saquon hasn't seen 60 rushing yards for 4 straight games.
This is the week he gets it.
Tackle breaking rate is down 40% from last year. And after this, they see the Giants. I'm sure they're licking their chops to see the Giants again, but maybe not just 2 weeks after what just happened. And after Giants, it's Packers and Lions. Danger.
That is why this game is so important, dude. This game is huge. And I'm not trying to be alarmist or anything. Like, if I were on this team, we'd be sitting in the fucking locker room saying how big this game is.
And then, like, hey, who's going to go talk to a reporter anonymously? Draw straws.
Yeah, probably. And then the other thing is, like, the offensive line. Like, what offensive line is Wentz going to be playing behind? Okay, they could get Jackson, Juergens, O'Neal back this week. He could either be playing in front of Darisaw, Jackson, Juergens, Fries, O'Neal, or Darisaw, Huber, Brandel, Fries, and School. So the big one for me is O'Neal. Like, be great if he'd come back ASAP. But the ironic thing is, like, the Eagles don't really have a lot of edge rushers, and one of them just retired this week. So, golly, I mean, this is a big fucking game, dude. It's a big game for both teams. That's why I'm excited. I'm excited about these games, man. Like, the longer the year goes, like the first month, all the games feel big, that sort of thing. Like, you don't really know who teams are. Like, we're kind of getting into not nut cutting time. It's not nut cutting time. It's crunch. No, it's not crunch time. It's nut cutting time. Nut cutting time comes before crunch time, I think.
Maybe.
Whatever it is, it's getting late early. If you don't figure things out at this point in the season, if you let these issues, you mentioned the teams that are coming up.
Yeah.
Vikings.
I think it's right now. It's the race to 8 wins. I think, like, whatever teams can, like, get to that 8-win mark, like, it's gonna start making the difference between the contenders and the pretenders. And I think, like, right now, it's like that muddy time where teams are either gonna keep elevating
In the NFC especially.
or they're gonna move back and lose a couple of games and then try to get back on track. But it's funny right now, these next couple of weeks, how different certain teams, their season can, like, literally go between if you're going to get a win or a loss right now, or a tie or something like
5-2 feels great. Eagles go score 26 points, win the game.
Amazing.
Saquon runs for 100 yards. Like,
3-3.
people are going to say, hey, we're back. Jalen takes care of the football, which he always does.
Or 4-3. Yeah.
Yeah, but 4-3 feels like fucking. And for the Vikings, getting this win would be huge, and obviously for Carson to be huge. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I like Carson. Like, I've never disliked Carson.
Yeah.
I know that there's guys that have talked about Carson, after the fact, and wasn't perfect. He wasn't perfect in Philly, but I think he's a good guy, and he's in a really good place to play quarterback. We were kind of questioning that watching JJ McCarthy play, but Carson's done a decent job, man. Decent. He had to make some big throws to win that game a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, and if you're still wavering or waffling on the Carson Wentz JJ McCarthy argument, Carson has 0.19 EPA per dropback. JJ is at minus 0.42. And Carson has a 58% success rate versus JJ's 44%.
And listen, I want to see JJ play in front of Darisaw and O'Neal and those guys before I make a real, judgment on his game.
He didn't have Addison either.
He hasn't had Addison. So and Carson's enjoyed the return of a couple of these guys, and he's also played. They played the Browns defense last week, which is tough sledding, but they played the Browns. I know this is EPA and that sort of thing, but, like, winning is the most important thing. And they were able to get one in London. I mean, the ball he threw to Jefferson, I think it was middle of the field at the end of the game, was, like, the confidence to rip it, great. That's never been a Carson issue, but, like, I kind of wonder if that gunslinger mentality wore off in his time of, like, being knocked down to lead them on a game-winning drive, to hit the touchdown at the pylon. Like, his confidence got to be pretty high. And this is a game where I'm interested to see how he reacts. Because he's just been I don't know if he's been waiting for this opportunity, but the opportunity is here. So
0-1 career against the Eagles. Vikings beat writer reports that Jackson, Juergens, O'Neal all practicing Thursday in addition to Van Ginkel and Cashman.
Jackson, Juergens, O'Neal, that's pretty good. But now Landon Dickerson now, I don't know what's going on with him.
He's practicing. He was
big to
limited
get him
yesterday.
back.
I don't know what the update was today, but he was back yesterday.
And we'll see how much better he looks. Like maybe a week did him some good, but I don't know. Like he seemed pretty banged up before the hiatus, if you will.